Wait, I want the glasses, bro. Pass.
You want to put glasses?
Here. Frameless
That's
glasses.
cool.
You're going to be flexing.
All right, good.
All good? All right, let's
Cool.
roll.
Bro, I'm gonna definitely tell them that these are your glasses. Don't worry.
That's okay.
So they can donate glasses. This is
Yes.
the first thing they donate to.
Yes, exactly. Bro, the whole point of at least me and JP doing what we're doing behind our brand is to help young men. That's the whole reason I got into this, because I can't think of a more fulfilling thing to do with your life than teach younger men how you did what you did.
For us, it didn't start there. For us, it was to teach the parents their mistakes.
Mm.
So the young men don't have to go through this. This is my point.
So to teach young men how to deal with their parents better?
No, it's to teach parents how to deal with their children better.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a parent?
No.
So parents need to teach parents, no?
No.
What is it that makes you qualified to teach parents?
What is it that makes me qualified? I'm just telling them the problems that we face.
Okay.
They can understand.
Yeah.
I'm not telling them what to do. I'm just telling them the problems that we face as young men. That's it.
Mm.
So I'm talking from this side.
Yeah, so they can get a better understanding of
just
how
so they
we
can
feel.
understand.
Yeah.
Because not everybody can stand up and talk against their family, because
No.
there's cultures and morals and values and whatnot. So you can't really go up to your parents and tell them, I don't want to do this, you know? And a lot of people are scared.
In a lot of houses, that's a big problem, right?
It is.
Yeah. Well, not as much here, but man, it's crazy over in the West, man. Like literally every single house that I would go into, like 99% of them all divorced. Like their families are literally broken. Like
Yeah,
it's
bro.
just messed.
Where we're from, it's not a big deal to talk back to your parents, like, unfortunately. A lot of the kids that I grew up, I would never do this because I'm Lebanese by background, but a lot of the kids that I grew up with, they'd be like, Mom, no! Like, they'd yell at their parents. Like, that was not acceptable in my house at all, because I come from, I'm Arab, bro. I come from Lebanese background. Like, that doesn't work in my house. But a lot of these, like, Canadian, US kids, it's normal. It's okay.
Bro, if I ever said no to my parents, the slipper would be the first thing that I hit my face.
Okay. So let me ask some of your questions.
Let's go over the
So
questions.
this
bro.
is one of your main guys. When you outreach, how do you make the perfect offer to them? Something that doesn't scream just another one of those guys selling services for the prospects, right? Basically, how to create that irresistible offer that they can't say no to. Would love your advice on that.
I think if you're asking this question, you need to get a better understanding of who your audience is. So if your ideal clients are business owners in a specific sector, you need to understand what those people's lives are like. So for the most part, I can tell you that business owners are very, very, very busy. They don't have time. The only time they're reading your cold email outreach that you sent to them is when they're on the toilet or they're having breakfast or something like that. They happen to have some free time, which is why I tell my guys, when you're doing cold emails, which, by the way, everybody's doing right now, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just means you have to be good at it. When you're doing cold emails, you have to be very direct and to the point and always lead with a giving hand, because a lot of guys send cold emails like, hey, man, I'd love to help your business out. Let me do a video for you. And they're like, just answer these 5 questions so I can get like a good idea of what kind of business you run. And then, but you're asking them to do work. Like, by asking them 5 questions, now as a business owner, I have to go over those 5 questions and be like, okay, so what's my revenue? Okay, and who are my audience? That's too much work for me. I don't have time for that. Like, what I mean by the guy that asked this question, I actually spoke to him in the DMs before, and he was asking me how to create that irresistible offer. The way you do it is by making it so that there's like 0 investment required from them. And then it's like inevitable that they're gonna respond. If I get a message saying like, hey bro, and I'm not telling guys to do this, but if I get a message from a guy like, hey bro, I see your content that you're putting out. I wanna help you with this. Here's 5. I just made you 5 here. Take a look at those. And then it's very easy for me if somebody sends me that, go, oh, like he did something for free. Let me, oh, okay. This kid's pretty good.
Well, he like gave you a product or something.
Yeah, he led with a giving hand. He gave me something first to make me want to talk to him because he knows that I'm busy. This is the best way to approach people. Yeah. So that's how you craft the perfect offer and how you get people's attention, how you actually get responses to your emails is by leading with a giving hand. That's like the best like tip I can give because that's what worked for me.
Yeah.
Shouldn't your service be better than everybody else's in the first place? Isn't that the most important thing?
Yes, but it doesn't matter how good your service is if you don't have their attention.
But
you have to get them talking to you first. If they don't talk to you, it doesn't matter how good you are at your job. You have to speak with them first, get their
Yeah.
attention first, and then show them how much better you are.
Okay.
That's why I say to lead with a giving hand, because I could be number one in my field if I message them with a bunch of questions on how I can do my job.
Or like
better.
you act like a clown or something, like they're not gonna buy.
Exactly.
Right? That's why with like Bell and all this stuff, there was inventors that already made this stuff, but Bell was the guy that actually brought it out to the market because he's good with sales, marketing, all this stuff, and portraying the message out properly. So it's good to firstly have the best service possible, but also delivering that service to the best of abilities. So yeah, should I ask more of these questions?
Let me do one
Yeah.
for you.
All right.
Let's alternate, so I'm
All
not
right,
like
cool.
talking the whole time.
Yeah.
No, we like your voice, man.
Where are yours? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
you got a
those
bunch
are
of
like
them.
tons, man.
Is
Bro,
there-
I'm famous, man. I don't know
Is
what to
there
say.
any specific ones you want me to ask?
No, I didn't even look through it. I just screenshot them all.
All right, let me scan it to find like a good.
Yeah,
one for
like
you.
good one or
and
something
then,
like that.
And then we'll ask. Okay, let's go with this. Best advice you can give to a 16-year-old boy who wants to be rich in his 20s.
All right. Well, yeah. So when I was 16, I kind of had a similar mentality. Is I was 16, I understood that men had to build their values, their innate value in itself. Right. I had to go to the gym, go and work. I had to build literally my financial infrastructure. Right. So asking me how do I get rich? That's what like 99% of people ask, but they don't go in depth into like, okay, how do you specifically become valuable? How do you make that transaction, right? But I would say nowadays the quickest and easiest way to get rich is through understanding the attention economy, right? Just like what we're doing, we're filming a podcast right now, right? But understanding that if you can find attention and if you can get attention of people online and then monetize through that attention, then that would be the easiest way to go. So personally, what I did was essentially built sales and marketing platforms for actual creators, right? As well as sales, as well as building sales teams for specific creators, and that's how I kind of like got started up. And the attention economy doesn't need to be you have to go to like a office and then work very hard and all this stuff, right? You can just like go on your laptop and there you go. Just like start trying to catch the eyes of people, right? So that's what I usually do on a daily basis. But if you're 16, firstly, what you need to do is hit the gym, of course, even build a brotherhood, right? So look at who your friends are at the moment and be like, okay, is this friend actually helping me go towards my ultimate goal, right? You have to figure out your purpose. Your purpose, usually when you're a young man, is ultimately to become the best version of yourself every single day and pushing your limits every single day. And through understanding your purpose, then you can mold your purpose with the people that you hang around with. So once you've kind of put yourself around the right people, then of course build in those habits. So hitting the gym, doing this amount of work, eating this amount of food, right? Like eating healthy, all this stuff. So that's what I'd advise. It's about firstly being around the right people and then having the right habits that will bring you to that like status, that richness, all this stuff together, right? Because it wasn't like 1 year and now I'm in Dubai, I'm rich. Like, fuck, man, it took a lot of time, right? Like when I was 16, I had 4 jobs, bro. Like I was working very, very hard because I understood ultimately I had to build myself as a man, and soon enough now I can just be here, be in a more halal country, and then done.
I would say something. I would add one thing that's very important.
What would you
because
say to a 16-year-old kid who wants to
I
be
would
rich
say
in
the
his
first
20s?
thing is because I'm in my 30s, so the first thing I would tell you is stop caring about what people think about you. That's the
Yeah.
first thing that you need to do. If you can't get out of that, you can't become who you want to become, because it's all blocks in your mind, and you have to remove those blocks. And the first block you need to remove is that you have to stop caring about what people think about you, because you can never impress anyone. You know the story of the donkey and the man and his wife. So they were passing by and there was a donkey, and the man and the woman were walking next to the donkey. And then the people told them, "Oh, what idiots, they have a donkey but they're walking." And then the man decided to sit on the donkey, and then he was passing by somebody else, and then a woman said, "Oh, what's this idiot? What feminism and all that?" And then he was like, why is the woman walking and the man on the donkey? So he decided to put his wife on the donkey with him as well. And then they continued a bit more, and then somebody else looked at them and they're like, oh, look at these idiots, they're killing the donkey. So the man, as being a man, he got off the donkey and he started walking beside the donkey while his wife is on the donkey. And then after that, he passed by a bit more, and then people were laughing at him, and they were like, the whipping sound, like, oh, he's being whipped by his wife. That's why she's on the donkey. And you can never impress everyone. You can never do that. It's impossible. Don't try to do that. That's the first thing that I would say.
Yeah.
Stop bothering.
Very good. There's always going to be some way for people to spin what you're doing to look like you're weak.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from like their own weakness.
Yeah.
A lot of people project that onto you. You can't let that affect you.
Perception is projection, my friend.
Yeah, of course.
Perception is projection.
It's a good story.
Yeah, I think mentality is really, really strong. Like how people got to the levels that they are is firstly breaking limiting beliefs. And then after they've broken them, then just use the right mindsets to get themselves to the right places. But yeah, let me ask one question of yours.
I don't even really deal with that much anymore because the only people that I hang around in real life are people that influence me positively. Like if guys talk negatively towards me, I'm not going to hang out with you. The only people that speak negatively towards me are people like digital, like online, like texting shit. But those are not real people in my mind. They're just like, well, they are real people, but they're like, I can't take them seriously. Like you're sending a text to somebody negative over the internet for what?
How much time do you have in your
what are you really
You can
doing?
use
Like,
that time to be more productive.
Exactly. And to let that affect you, you're essentially saying his opinion is worth more than yours.
It's like being a flower and being under the shade, A flower can never become a flower if it's under the shade. You have to put it under the sun. And every time you're giving power to people over you, you're not going to become the flower that you need to become. That's how I look at it. And to anybody who's 16 years old and they want to do something in life, go learn neurolinguistics programming. It will help you a lot. That is one thing that
Linguistics
will help you a lot.
programming.
Yeah. Because it teaches you how to stop looking at it from the perspective that you've been programmed to look at it and start looking at it from a different perspective. And that helps a lot. That helps a lot.
Okay.
I agree.
Let me
Next
ask.
question.
Yeah. So
Is this mine?
it's the same guy. Like you've got like.
Okay, what did he say?
Yeah.
He really likes you, my friend. He's even DMing you, so be careful, my friend.
He's actually working for me now.
Oh, okay.
I just find a good question.
There's not that many on there. If they're not worth asking, don't ask them.
Well, yeah,
I have them up
I'd
here.
rather just like.
What would you do if you were 16 again? Complete. We just answered that.
Yeah.
And
There's a
then
guy in his mid 40s, like he's asking.
for a mid 40s man like me who wants to be financially free and able to mentor like-minded people in the future,
It's like-
what is your advice? It's a bad question because he gave me no information.
There's no such thing as bad question, first of all.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously going through something. That's why he asked that question, right? He wants his financial freedom. But to achieve financial freedom, I think you should, first of all, break all the limits that you have in your mind. Because if you're 40 and you've been stuck in the same loop forever and you still haven't become financially free, there's a problem. And the problem is within. And you have to accept that I won't say you're at fault, but you are the cause. You are the cause. Nobody else can make you do this. Nobody else can force you to do this. Yeah. You have to look at your problems first. Look at yourself. Fix yourself. That's it. That's where you start. If you can't fix that and you can't accept that you're at fault, you can never achieve anything.
I think people tend to get attached to the end result instead of the process itself.
We've been programmed to look at the effect and not the cause.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Exactly. When the cause is really what's going to get you the
It's
effect.
the cause that causes the effect. But
Yeah.
You can't chase the effect without the cause. One does not go without the other.
Yeah.
Being financially free, of course, you see these like nice supercars on the road and big houses and beautiful girls, but what did it take to get there? You have no idea because all you see is the end result.
Yeah.
Instead, speak with the people who have these things and ask them more about the journey and how they got there.
Yeah.
And attach yourself and marry yourself to those ideas instead of the end product. Find a way. Money is just a symbol for how much value you can provide to the economy, how much value you're providing to another person that's willing to give you that money for what you're doing for them. And if you're in your 40s like this guy and you still haven't found a way to provide that kind of value to the economy, you have to find a way to do that. It means for a long time, you have not been able to provide that kind of value to someone who's willing to pay you the amount of money that would make you quote unquote financially free, because that's a very subjective term. It means something different for everybody. But going back to what Yaqoob said, before you do that, you have to deal with whatever internal problems you have that's been holding you back for the past 20 something years of your career. Because if it's been this long, it means there's something internal that is holding you back over and over again. Or it's something external. It could be a negative family member that you live with. It could be somebody who's like physically holding you back, like actually like speaking down on you over time, and you just can't get rid of them. Everything is changeable though.
But didn't you say we said that perception is projection, right?
Yeah.
So even that family member wouldn't be there in the equation if you wanted to get out of this.
Yeah.
So that family member wouldn't exist if you didn't want it to happen.
Everything.
You would step out.
Yeah. I agree. Everything about your reality is changeable. If there's someone that's genuinely holding you back and you know that, it's your fault if they're still in your life. Like you could separate yourself. It doesn't mean you have to cut ties forever. You don't have to be like an ass, but you can definitely take your own space and say, you know what? I'm going to go to the cafe today and I'm just going to work there instead of work at home next to these people. I'm going to go to an office space and rent out a desk and just work on my own so I can be in my own space.
If you say that, he'll tell you, I'm not financially free, I cannot afford it. That's the first excuse he's going to use.
Bro, it's like $10 to
Yeah,
get an
but
office
It doesn't
space
matter.
for the
They're
day.
still going to use that as an excuse because anybody who doesn't want to do something...
This guy
they will
needs to
find
be
an
yelled
excuse.
at. Like you need to just like yell at him and basically say, okay, why the fuck did you not build yourself when you're 40?
But that means that he needs somebody to motivate him every
Yeah.
single day of his life. That
Yeah.
means you're going to pay money to have that.
Exactly. That's why he needs
It doesn't come
mentorship.
for free. Nothing
Yeah.
comes for free.
Yeah.
And if you can't afford it full time, at least afford it short term.
Yeah.
You know, like at least for an hour a day, let somebody motivate you.
Yeah.
But
If
you still have to pay.
if I was like that old, I would like literally like pay a mentor to like come to my house and like we would do like some boot camp thing together and just like go crazy and like work out
Let's
money, all
not
this
call
stuff.
him old, first of
Okay,
all.
well,
He's
fuck
still
that.
young, man. He's still young. He's still young.
Well, like I don't know. All right.
You only become old once your heart becomes old. And that
Okay.
is under your control.
Mm.
That's always under your control.
All right.
40 is not old. It's just old is a mindset.
Yeah, old is a mindset.
If you
Exactly
tell-
like broke is a mindset.
Exactly.
It's all a
Okay.
mindset.
If you tell yourself, man, I'm getting old. Okay, now
Yeah.
you're old.
Now you're old.
Just
Yeah.
because you said that, now you're old.
I mean, I tell my father he's around 60 something now, 65.
Yeah.
And he tells me he's still young. I'm telling him, go get married again, man. It's cool. Don't worry about it. I know my mom hearing this, she'll kick my ass for sure.
Yeah, bro, it's a mindset. If you view yourself as slow and old and decrepit and life's going downhill, I'm past my prime, looking back on the good old days, then those are your good old days, man. Sorry. Like you just have to you have to decide your own fate. Like once you realize that your reality is completely crafted by you and that everything in and around your experience is completely made by the way you think of the world, then you start to think a lot differently. You start to think a lot more positively about how you can create the results that you want in your life.
This has so much sugar in it.
Bro, I just picked the red one. You said red fruits, iced tea. I said red iced tea. All right, let me get that.
It just has so much sugar
I
in
put
it.
like 3 brain cells into the decision-making process to pick up this bottle. Bro.
You left the rest for now. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool.
Just
Choose
so
some of
everybody
these.
knows
are
these are
those.
his glasses.
They're
Thank you
my
for
glasses.
thank you for donating them for an hour.
Anytime, bro. I always take care of my people.
Thank you.
Always take care. What is motivating you to push harder every day?
What's
It's a
motivating?
personal question.
Yeah.
but it would be good for you to answer it, I think.
Yeah, I
for a lot
like
of guys
it.
that are curious.
Yeah. Well, for me, there's like motivators that is leading me to me building my finances and all this stuff. Firstly, it's mostly that my family's in Canada and they're over there, snowing, like just like shit society and no sun, like all this stuff. Firstly, it's just trying to get my family out of there personally, because I know how bad it is over there, and I know that I can make their realities better. That's what I'm trying to do. Honestly, that's one of my motivators. But at the second part, I didn't really enjoy needing to kind of like save myself for the next second. Like, okay, I need to pay rent for the next month, or I need to pay these bills and all this stuff. Like, I want to be like, all right, cool. I have this house here. I have these cars here. Like, less stress in general, right? But I think those are my main motivators. Like, just understanding and being fulfilled that, firstly, I have my finances set up, my brotherhood, relationships, all this stuff all together, as a unison, and that's kind of like how you would describe fulfillment. So ideally, my motivator is bringing me towards that perception of fulfillment. So having the physical things as well as the non-physical things, and being in a society that firstly respects you, right? So that was one of my biggest motivators. Is firstly as a 20-year-old guy moving outside of Canada, which was literally communist society, and then coming to Dubai and now building my life. It's like there's sand, right? Sand on the ground, just like we're in the desert, right? And I need to build my life on top here. Right? When I was in Canada, I built my life over there, but I understood that the sand that I was building on top of was like sinking. So there's no point of building my life on top of a place that would break the foundation, right? So now I'm building my life on top of a rock, and now it's kind of like reconstruction. So that's kind of like what's motivating me at the moment, right? But motivators always change, right? Because it depends on emotions and stuff, right? But that's kind of like...
It depends on your life, right?
Yeah.
Depends on what's the biggest problem for you.
Yeah.
If the biggest problem is paying rent the next month, then that's going to be your motivator.
Yeah.
You want to say anything on that? Should I ask another question?
For me, I wouldn't speak about it, but I would say something that's very important. Everybody's motivation is different.
Yeah.
You have to find your own. You can't ask people what motivated them, because that's not going to motivate you.
Yeah.
Even if you want it to motivate you, it won't. Everybody's motivation is different. You can't. We're all different. Your DNA, everything about you is different than him. It's different for everyone. And if you think that what motivates him is going to motivate you as well, that's never going to work. You're looking at it from a wrong angle.
I think the person asking that question is lacking motivation, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that makes them want to get up and start working and doing that.
Let them go into a cycle of putting a pen and paper down and writing down the title being why, and then asking all the questions. Why am I doing this? Why do I want this? Why do you want the money? What's the purpose of the money?
Yeah.
Like, why do you want it? Oh, I want to be rich. I understand. Why? They don't have an answer. You have to go and find out the why. The why is the most important thing. If there's no why, then the rest of it doesn't exist.
I agree. You have to paint that vision for yourself.
Yeah, and you have to have that picture of what you want to be in the future, why you want to become that person, how is it going to change your life, and envision all of that and live that moment right now.
It should be crystal clear.
It should be very clear. Yep, very clear.
Crystal clear where you want to be. That's what me and JP have vision boards. I don't know if we told you.
I do.
You have vision board as well?
I have 3 of them, man.
Bro, I have 2. I have one for my life 1 month from now, and I have another one for 1 year from now. And both are taped right in front of my desk as I'm working. I work in a corner, like literally in the corner of my room, so there's 0 distractions. I look around, all I see is my white wall and the vision board right in front of me. So every time I look up, I remember this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm working so hard.
Can I suggest something to you that would help? I think it would help a lot, and I think it will help anyone who's watching this as well. If you have your vision board right above your bed, I think that will help you a lot more. So because when you go to sleep, your mind is still awake. So the last thing you see will be there going through your mind the whole night, which is whatever amount of hours you sleep, 5, 7, 10, whatever it is. Imagine that going through your head the whole time. If it's all success, how can you fail? You can't. But then to have the vision board, we go back to the same question. Why? Why do you have that vision board? What do you want to achieve? The why comes first. Once you achieve the why, once you understand that, you make your vision board. You said you have 2 of them, one for 1 month and one for 1 year, right? So mine is different. I have them for 5 years. All of them are for 5 years. One's for career, one's for family, one's for the people around me, not the family, but the external family, not the blood-related people, but the other part of the family.
Friends,
and
network.
I call them family. I don't call them friends because I don't believe in this quote-unquote friends. It doesn't exist in my world. In my world, you're either family or you mean nothing to me. Very simple. It's that simple.
This guy said, "Hey JP, I got myself some of those nasal strips and they're great. Why do you wear them while sleeping, and what is the reason behind focusing on health?"
Okay, well, actually, coming to this podcast studio, I was actually wearing them, but I took them off because, of course, I need to look good, all this stuff, right? But nasal strips are really good. They like increase your oxygen levels by like 20%, right? So when I'm at home, I'm always wearing them. and when I'm sleeping, I'm wearing them as well because it actually like gets your sleep to like some crazy levels. Yeah, like I'm telling you, like the difference between sleeping without these nasal strips and with the nasal strips is like crazy. Like your sleep is much more deep, and when you wake up, you're like, man, I like every part of my body is like basically like recovered. Like say you went to the gym, just go and sleep with the nasal strips, and basically all your problems will like go away, right? It's just like everything will like recover quicker. So I actually started about a month ago, and I'm gonna be doing this for a very long time. So this idea actually came from Alex Hormozy, and he inspired both of us to get started with this, and it's really good. We've been recently very careful about how we can optimize our daily reality. So every single night, I avoid blue light, right? So I can move towards my sleep much easier, right? So once the lights out, once like the day's dark, right? I fill up my room with red lights, as well as I use like these blue light blockers, those like glasses, and that's where I get some work done, and then I go to sleep, and then I use the nose strips, of course, and I wake up in a totally black room, and then I open up the curtains, and then done. Push-ups, sun, done. Easy. You don't even need Red Bull if at that point. Like your life is fully optimized. You don't need any coffee. Like basically everything that you do on a daily basis is bringing you energy. Right. That's why I think a lot of rich people, they are very careful on how they can increase their energy levels because they're not looking on sacrificing sleep. They're more looking at how they can optimize their current waking hours.
I completely lost the need to drink coffee or like the desire.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I need coffee to be productive to wake up. Don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
So I sleep absolutely great since we started optimizing our sleep. We don't just do the nasal strips though. We wear nasal strips. We make sure the room is completely blacked out at night so that there's like zero light, meaning like when you open your eyes and you close your eyes, you should see the same thing, like pitch black, like zero light. I have my AC on just so there's like some kind of noise. Like a white noise kind of thing, so it blocks out all the city noises, like the cars driving by and like all the other stuff that gets
Like
into
the
your room.
Lambos and stuff in Dubai.
Yeah, a lot of Lambos on the street.
Thank God I don't have to hear any of them. In my area, there's none, bro.
No, bro, our area is business based loud, bro.
No, man,
It's
now
super-
it's-
There's only Rolls Royces.
SVRs on the road.
No,
In the
in
middle
our
of the
area,
night.
in our area, nobody does that, man. Not at night. During the
Okay.
day, yeah, it's a lot, but at night, none of it.
Everything's we're just in this place for another 2 weeks, so me and JP will be moving around. Well, we could talk a little bit about that after as well, like us like switching apartments every month,
Yeah.
different place. We're going to Istanbul next month.
Well, that was my lifestyle for a long time. Like I would just do like 1 month in this random country, 1 month in this random country. Like that's how I was doing. Like, cause just digital nomad, right? And I was learning a lot of things. When I was like 19, I flew to the U.S. and then from the U.S. I went to Romania, and then from Romania I went to Spain and stuff like that. And I was alone. It was a really good experience. But yeah.
Do you prefer traveling alone?
Sometimes I do, but to be honest, a lot of times it gets lonely. So
Yeah.
I'd prefer to be with other guys, right? There, of course, there's upsides and downsides, but the upsides weigh out on the downsides when you're with other people, right? Like you have more experiences, you're a bit more, you go out more and all this stuff, right? And of course, you maintain that level of like brotherhood with other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
bonding
good.
experience,
Yeah, it's
too, with you
not
and your
good to be
friends.
alone for like a long period of time. Like I've done me being alone for like 3 months straight, just like not even speaking to other people because I was just like online, just like
In the
getting
lab.
rich,
Yeah,
like
but
in the lab.
are you
like-
really alone? Though?
well, I
You're
wasn't
not.
really alone. This is the thing, man. Like when I was small, I was alone on this like men's self-improvement thing. The only person that was thinking like me was basically all the influencers online that I was listening to. So it's kind of like a balance, right? But it's different when you can like actually speak to someone in real life and be like, all right, this is what we're doing and stuff. But
You're never actually alone. I mean, some people are really alone. Like they don't have family.
well, you can be in like the mountains of Mongolia. You can be alone there.
No, I mean like they have nobody.
Okay, yeah.
Like they don't have family, they don't have friends. They're just sitting in the apartment, like listening to the cars drive by, and it's just fucking.
This is the thing, man. Like it's your fault though. Like you can be around other people. Like even if I was in a shitty like third world country, there's other guys that are probably living the same reality. So might as well, I would just like pack around with these guys and build some kind of thing together, right?
Always make friends, bro.
Yeah.
Always.
Like if I was in the worst situation of my life possible, I would be the least alone. I would be around other guys as a pack of wolves, so that we can build ourselves and all this stuff. But
you're never actually alone. Even if you are, there's always an opportunity to fix that. There are people in your civilization that you can go and speak to, and there are men that are in the exact same situation as yours. I think it's human nature to believe like, oh no, nobody gets me. No one's in this situation. Like my life is so difficult. You guys don't get me. It's like, yeah, okay, you're just alienating yourself from the rest of the world, where in fact, there's definitely millions of people in exact same situations as you.
It's an excuse.
It's such an excuse. It's a pathetic excuse too, because it holds you back.
It does.
Like usually excuses are because people don't want to try hard, or they don't want to work, or it's like weakness. But this is an excuse that actually stops you from doing anything further. Why would you tell yourself that nobody is like you and nobody's going to understand your situation? Of course there are, bro. How arrogant do you have to be to think that your situation is so unique that nobody else has experienced this before?
Even if it is that unique, like, okay, let's say there's a person who's disabled, going through a lot, heart problems, liver problems, whatever it is, okay, and they're born into that, you know?
Okay.
Let's say if somebody is going through, that person can complain, and then they also have somebody to help them out. What's your excuse? And how many people, okay, you'll tell me there's a lot of people who are orphans or they don't have families or whatever. Yeah, that's true. There is a lot. But they have friends who are more than family to them, you know? And if you talk about it, there's so many people before you who went through that. And there's so many people who came out of that with success. You can do it if you want to. That's the question. Do you want to? Are you willing to put in the effort? And the answer is usually, yes, I do. Are you actually going to do it? No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you don't understand how much effort it takes until you actually do it.
Exactly. Right. And the problem is they're scared of the first step. Everyone's scared of the first step. That's why when people use the word fear, I just look at them and I smile. Because fear for them means something. For me, it means something completely different. I used to look at fear as forget everything and run. It changed from forget everything and run to it's completely different now. It's not forget everything and run anymore. It's face everything and rise. That's how I look at it now. That's the only way for you to rise. You can't rise any other way. It's not possible.
The first step is the hardest step. Starting has always been, and for me, the hardest part.
It is. It's for everyone.
It's just starting.
Yeah. It's the fear. That's what it is. It's the fear.
Bro, I used to be a copywriter I still am, for a long time. And the hardest part of starting any project for a client, whether it's a script for a VSL or a short form script or whatever I happen to be writing, is writing like the title, like the first line, because like when you have nothing, you're just lost. It's just your mind. But once you have one phrase, you're like, oh, okay, now I can build on that. And then I can build on this. And then it just kind of snowball effect. It just becomes easy after that. But when you have nothing, it's the hardest part. You just got to start.
Well, what would you suggest people to do in this situation? I mean, surely people could learn from that. Like, what would you suggest them?
Write anything down.
Anything.
It doesn't matter how bad it is. Start with something. Something is always better than nothing.
Exactly.
It's always better than
0.0001% is still better than zero.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And at least now you have something to build on.
Yeah.
Building on something that is already existing is 10 times easier than building on nothing.
So what I did was, instead of putting the title, so I would sit down, even my companies, I did the exact same thing. So I didn't put the title on any of them. I didn't even put the company name. I did the work first, and then I came back to the company name. And the company name was somewhere in between everything that I did. It's right in the center. You'll find it there. It's there.
Yeah.
It's always there. You just don't know that it's there. Once you finish the work and you come back and you're like, okay, I want to name the company now. You will look at it and the name will pop up. It will pop up. For sure it will pop up. But you need to do the work. Even if you can't find the title, you can't find the company name, whatever it is, it will pop up. But do the work. They're like, no, I'll do the work tomorrow once I have a company name. And tomorrow never comes, man. Tomorrow never comes, bro.
Yeah.
I've been saying tomorrow so many times in the past. I said tomorrow so many times, bro. It never came, bro. I'm still waiting for tomorrow.
Who said you need a company name to start? Like I'm
just giving you an example.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But these people, like, you don't have to. I think they create barriers for themselves. I do this too. I'm not saying I'm unique to this. Like, you create problems that are not actually problems. Oh no, but I'm not incorporated. This is the dumbest excuse I've ever heard in my life. Go provide value to somebody, ask them for money. Now you have a business. Once you grow big enough and you have to file taxes and you have to worry about, you know, the bureaucratic BS, then you can incorporate your company and worry about all the legal stuff. But get to the core of it first. What's the core of a business? The core of a business is to make money. Is the whole point. Is mostly, yes, there's some founders that are like, no, I want to create a better change in the world and I want to make an impact, and that's great. But 99% of the time, business owners want to make money. Okay, how do you make money? Bring money in. That should be your number one goal, is bring money in.
Yeah.
And once you have money coming in, you can worry about all the other stuff. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think Andrew Tate said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
He did. He said, why are you worried once you make your first million and then go and register the company and everything?
Yeah, why are you worried about taxes when you didn't even make money?
And he's right. He's actually right.
Yeah.
Why you were so worried about the taxes? Yeah, I understand. There's even a person who followed his lead, and he's a friend of mine, and he lives in the UK. And he said, I didn't register my company for 2 years because of listening to all of these people. And they're telling me, why are you registering the company? Why are you worried about paying taxes if you can't even afford to open the company? You know, like
30% of zero is still zero, guys.
yeah.
Like, bring some money in first, you know?
They need to go back and study math.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is the first thing.
How do you provide value to a person you want to network with?
That's
a good question.
Yeah. So
There's a lot of myths surrounding this question.
the biggest thing about, like, cause I speak a lot about networking, and that's kind of how I've gotten my first big opportunities. Like, I dropped out of university, but how did I drop out? Through this networking opportunity that I got, and then I dropped out, and then I used that opportunity, and then I did my best in that specific one job that I got, and then through that, then I did more networking so I can get to the next level, right? But how can you provide value to someone while networking? So usually what I do when I meet someone is, firstly, my goal is to build trust with that person. So the last thing that I would be speaking about is business. I don't want to speak about business with someone that, okay, they might be rich or they might have these calibers and traits. Right? I wouldn't really be speaking about business or whatever it is. It's mostly just building trust with that person and having that baseline connection with that person. So speaking about what they like, or usually when you're networking, you get into some conversation and you speak about, okay, cars or watches or something that might be interesting. So I go ahead and speak about the small things that they like. And then eventually then the conversation moves towards the business topic, right? And that's where I like to listen a lot, because end of the day, that person's highly, highly valuable, right? And they're giving you knowledge, so you've got to listen. And then the biggest part is asking the right question that will lead him in the direction where you can bring him value. So asking the right questions, and firstly, knowing how to ask the right questions, I would say you can learn that trait through sales, right? Because sales is basically leading a person towards a specific destination, right? So if you're good at sales, you're good at networking, because you can ask the right questions, lead them towards the right specific outcome. And once we've gotten into that, you kind of understand what they're doing, what business they're working with, then figure out in your mind what skill do they need so that they can firstly build their company more, right? Or how he can save more time, or how he can make more money, right? Figure that out. Figure out that specific skill, and I would hint that into that conversation, and I would get his contacts. Once you've got his contacts, say, hey, bro, good meeting you. I want to provide this for you completely for free, some kind of consultation or this kind of value or this kind of content, whatever it is, and then deliver your best at that product. Deliver your best at that free value.
Just do it. Don't even tell him.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't even tell him.
Yeah.
Don't warn him. Hey, man, I'm thinking of doing this for you. No, just do it.
Yeah.
Send it to him. Hey, bro, great meeting you.
Yeah. And
Check this out.
That's complete abundance,
Yeah.
and that's what they're looking for, right? Same thing for me personally. I speak a lot online. I do a lot of sales and marketing as well. So I had an instance where this is not really specific to networking, but this is more like, okay, you're doing outreach. How should you do it the best way? This guy basically knew a specific skill that I needed. He looked through all my socials and he's like, okay, this specific part of your socials needs some improving. So I'm going to message you and give you all the value that you need so that you can improve your socials, then I actually went on a call because it looked like top quality, and then we started a relationship. And once I actually got to the point of actually starting to pay for him, because firstly the first month we didn't even speak about money, and then when we got into the dynamic of exchange where I was paying for his services, I actually asked him, okay, let me start paying you because I want you to be full time with me, right? So that's the best dynamic you can go with networking specifically. So like when you're networking, there's a lot of things you have to understand. What kind of value specifically can you bring to that person? What skill do they need, right? So throughout that whole conversation, figure out, okay, what is he doing? Is he working in this sector, that sector, whatever it is? But yeah, that's my general advice.
It's good advice, bro. Lead with the giving hand.
Yeah.
It goes back to what I said.
What about you for networking and
Yeah,
like
what do you
bringing
do?
value?
If there's someone you see across the room and you're like, I've heard of this guy. I want to become friends with him. How do you get in touch with him? How do you speak with him?
Well, I haven't left the country a lot. Like I'm mostly here. And
Okay.
I was always with my father, and he's really good at hospitality. This is one thing that he's really good at. And the first thing he does is, I'm giving you his plan, which usually works out very well for him and other people, like whoever tried it. So what he does is, JP has been to the farmhouse and he's seen how it is, and he invites them to the farmhouse and he hosts them a very nice dinner and a great evening, something they haven't experienced in this side of the world. And once they go through that, that's his way of getting into anything he wants. Because once they see that you are worth something, they run after you. You don't have to run after them. And that's how I usually do it now.
Yeah.
I just follow his footsteps because there's no mistakes. There's nothing that can misguide you over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's one straight road.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
It's like
That's
you're much more open to do business with some person if you've started with that specific dynamic. It's like, say for example, I pay for the person's bill when we go out eating,
Yeah.
or something like that,
Yeah.
or even the farmhouse or anything. Just bringing value first, then business is very easy because you've established that trust.
Yeah. That's what my father did, and it works out really well for him. And I do the exact same thing now.
Yeah.
This is the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
At least I'm telling you, this is a shortcut. Not everybody has a farmhouse.
Yeah.
But
well, you can like pay for their bill. That's really it. Like doing that, or like giving them some kind of value, like understanding, okay, they need more short form content. I'm going to create this short form for them or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's more about the gesture than it is about the value, actually. We spoke about this in the car yesterday. Networking, especially at the highest levels, is all gestures.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's say you pick up someone's bill. They don't care about the
money. The
the
money
1,000
doesn't-
dirhams that you saved them. They don't care.
You're not saving them 1,000 dirhams. He doesn't even know that he was gonna spend it or not. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't make a difference to him, but the gesture of you taking care of it for him, that's what means something. The gesture of you creating 5 pieces of content for this guy, even if they're not content that he uses, like even if they're 5 pieces of content that, like, you know what, we're actually not selling that product anymore, but thank you, I appreciate it. Let's get on the phone next week. The fact that you went out of your way to produce something for somebody for free, or to host somebody at your farmhouse, or to do any kind of gesture for someone simply out of kindness, even though maybe you're expecting something in return after, I personally suggest not to expect anything in return, but just to do it, and good things will naturally happen to you. But that is what means something to people. The gesture on its own. It's less about the value, it's more about the gesture. Especially at the highest level, the rich people don't care about money anymore. They have an abundance of it. They're already rich. Why would they care?
Yeah.
But when they see they care about having good people around them. That's something that doesn't matter how rich you are, that's always going to be valuable, is having good people around you.
My father says, "Do good and throw it in the sea."
Yeah.
That's it. He's like, "Do good, throw it in the sea. It will come back. The waves will bring it back. But once it comes back, it won't come back just as that good thing.
Yeah.
It would be that good thing eaten by a fish or a shark or something.
be a
So you're getting
tsunami.
something much bigger.
Yeah.
You're getting something much bigger, and it's always going to be bigger than what you throw, because regardless of what you do, you can't give 10 and receive 10. That's not how the universe works.
No.
You give 10, you'll get 100.
Yeah.
You get 10 times more. Whatever you give, you get 10 times more. This is a fact. And the problem is everybody's being so greedy nowadays. Like, I see it a lot. Like,
Yeah.
even when you go out with like 3-4 people.
It's a scarcity mindset.
It is.
It's greed, I think.
It's
a little
greed.
bit of both.
I see it mostly as greed, because I see it in their eyes that when the bill is coming, they're all like, Oh, I went through this. So we were sitting down in a restaurant, okay, and I didn't know that group of people. I know one of them, and he's a really good friend. So because of him, he wanted me to meet them because they want to do business together. And I don't like to sit with people. As soon as I talk to them, if I don't feel comfortable, I never meet them again. I straight up from the first time, and I tell them as well, I don't feel comfortable. Thank you very much. Peace out, and I leave. I don't care because I'm done with caring what they think about me. All that shit is done. So I sat with them the first time, and right before we got the bill, like my friend was like, "Get the bill." One of them got up and got on the phone. The other one went to the bathroom. I was like, "What the fuck, bro?" And we didn't care, bro. It was like 300 dirhams. It's nothing, bro. It's nothing.
They're getting on the phone for 300 dirhams.
They're cheap, bro.
That's
They're cheap,
crazy.
bro. That's cheap, bro. And it doesn't matter. Even if it was 3,000, even if it was 30,000, it doesn't matter. It's not money.
Yeah.
But how can you be okay with doing that? It doesn't matter. It's not about the money. It's never about the money. Once you stop thinking that it's about the money, that's when you're gonna achieve, bro. You have to stop thinking that it's about the money. It's not about the money. It's never
Because
about
they
the money.
basically say that their relationship with you is worth
less than 300
dirhams. Yeah. Well, you know, it's a scarcity greed mindset. Like that's a brokey mindset. Even though someone has millions, they can still.
I don't think they have
Act.
millions, these people. I think they're
No, they do.
They can,
They do.
bro.
I promise you, they do. They do have that much money.
Why
They
don't they act in abundance then?
They have more than us. It's just greed, bro. The guy who's sitting there actually has 10 times more than me. Me personally, he has 10 times more than me.
Do you think that comes from looking at the effect and not the cause? It does, right? It looks like it comes from looking at the final result.
Definitely.
The cars, I want that car by next month, instead of focusing on the cause, which is, or not the cause, the cause, the process.
Yeah.
The process is you have to meet people like this and form good relationships with people. That's how you become wealthy. The world, God will reward you for being good to other people. We're already kind of talking about this actually. What do you think are 3 traits every rich person you've interacted with has? What are the commonalities that you see between
Patience,
people
patience,
who are
patience.
successful?
Patience.
Why do you say that?
I see patience as the main thing. If you don't have patience, you can't get anything. Patience.
What about the guys
It's funny that he didn't even finish the question, and I said patience, patience, patience.
What about the guys that they want to get rich this year? Now. They want it now.
You can't get anything right now. It's not possible. If I tell you go to the gym now and give me a 6-pack by the end of the day, it's not possible. You can't ask for something like this. This is not how it works. It's like, oh, I'm gonna build a car in one day. You can't. It's not possible. You don't have that many hours in a day. It's not possible. If you want to do it, yes, but you have to be realistic as well. It's like you can't tell me, oh, I want to become a billionaire in 1 hour. You can't. You have to work. You have to do everything that comes with it. There's a fact where the sacrifice comes before the actual the gift, you know. So you sacrifice first, and then you get the gift. You can't tell me I want the gift without the sacrifice. It's not possible.
Yeah.
What would you say? 3 traits every rich person has, or 1 trait, or whatever, however you want to answer it.
I think 3 traits that every rich person has. Well, like most rich people that I've spoken to, usually they act in abundance, and they have really good communication skills. Usually, unlike like some crypto guys, but it's fine. And then
Hey, I work in crypto. Don't say that.
what else is there? I think that a lot of rich people that I speak to are actually physically fit, because if you're physically fit, then that means that you can put yourself through hard things, right? So that's generally what I would say to that. And these are the traits that you would want to emulate yourself if you're trying to get to that ideal goal. So being no scarcity mindset, as well as being physically fit, as well as what was that second one?
What?
Second one that I
Second
said.
trait?
Yeah.
Good social skills?
Yeah, social skills. That is super key, because I think that if you want to like progress like crazy in life, you need to have good networking skills, and you can't go network with like trash social skills. So yeah.
Well, how do you bring money into the business? Where does the money come from? It comes from other people,
Yeah.
right?
You don't have your own money. Money is not something that's owned by anybody. It's an energy. The only reason all of us are chasing money is because it's the only form of tangible energy. That's it. That's the only reason we're chasing it. There's no other reason behind it. You can chase everything on earth, but all of them are energies that are things that are not tangible, something you can't touch, something you can't see. Money is the only form of tangible energy. That's the thing that people don't understand. Once you understand that this is a tangible energy and the only way for you to get it is from somebody else, because it's there. Either you take it, he takes it, or I take it, but it's on the table. And for you to take it, you have to provide the service. For him to take it, he needs to provide the service. For me to take it, same thing. All of us have to provide the service. And it depends on how good your service is. And who are you providing it to? Everybody in the world, like everybody that I know has an iPhone. Every single person that I know has an iPhone or a Samsung. Like one of the two. What's their service? They're just providing you a phone. That's it. But if you go and buy another phone, I don't want to mention names of companies, but like Huawei, for example. If you go and buy that phone, it's actually better than both of the phones. Better than iPhones and Samsung.
More storage, more like
Everything,
faster.
cheaper, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you an example because a lot of people talk about money because that seems like the most important thing right now.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than both of them. Why are you carrying an iPhone?
Yeah.
What's the purpose?
Status.
It's user friendly.
Yeah.
Are you that stupid? Come on. You're giving me your excuse of user. If you can afford it and it doesn't really matter, fine, go ahead and do it. If you can afford 15 of them, go ahead and do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you, if you can't afford it, why are you doing it? Just because it's user friendly?
They don't say user friendly. I think it's more a group thing. Like you want to be like everyone else has an iPhone too.
Yeah.
So you want an iPhone. You don't want to be the one guy. People make fun of people with Android phones. This is like
Yeah, I
a big
remember
meme
that.
now. Like everyone's, oh, you're sending green texts, man. Come on.
What did we start the conversation with? You shouldn't care about what people say about you.
Yeah, right. Right.
If you're
Good.
not
Every
gonna
time you
do-
say something, I'm gonna take you back to the beginning of this podcast.
It's a good thing to get back to. If you're judging me because of green texts, come on, bro. We don't
And
have
we
much
ain't
of a
friends.
connection anyways, bro. If that's going to be the deal breaker, it's like,
If you can afford it, go ahead and do it. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you can't afford it and you're getting it because of people, don't.
I need to get a phone right now too. I was looking at getting the iPhone 14 just for the camera. The only thing I care about is the camera, literally.
But the camera on the Samsung is much better.
Is it actually better?
Yeah,
It's
bro.
higher definition?
Here,
I have no idea.
This is
What is
it?
that?
this is the Samsung
Oh, this is the
Fold.
folding one.
Bro,
Yeah.
this is sick.
That's the cover. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Bro, this is
I hope
sick.
the camera got that, bro. This is the cover, bro. Remove it if you want. It doesn't matter.
Jeez.
Bro, it's like an iPad.
Yeah.
This is
But
dope.
I just like everything that I have is like iPhone. So
Double
like,
tap.
yeah.
And the camera's on bottom right if you want.
This is cheaper than the iPhone?
No, obviously not. I'm
Okay.
just telling you it has a better camera. I'm not saying it's
foldable
cheaper.
Yeah.
I don't work with cheap, bro.
I'll look into that. I gotta find the phone.
Yeah,
Should we
but
keep
for
going through the
tech, like,
questions?
Yeah, but for tech, like you have to invest like a lot. Or like if you're working online and people say, "Oh,
Which
I'm
a
gonna
lot of
cheap
people
out
are.
on like 5 gigabytes because it's like $100 cheaper." No, like you make all your money online. You have to invest in the best tech possible. So
I agree. The only reason I have this phone is because I get reports every single day in the morning and I get them on Excel sheets.
yeah,
Well, looking at it on half a screen doesn't work. For me, this is half a screen now. The only way I can look at it is like with the thing open, you know,
Yeah.
like completely open. Otherwise, I can't look at it. It bothers me, you know. It's like it's too small, and then you have to go left and right and left and right to look at the company name and how much and what's happening.
yeah.
So annoying.
I like that it folds up though. That's cool.
Yeah, they have another one as well, which is called I think Flip.
It goes like that.
It
Yeah,
goes sideways. It's
Really?
like
it goes up. Yeah.
you remember the Motorola back in the days.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
concept.
That's
Even
dope.
Motorola has one, and it's touch on the inside.
I'm gonna do some research when I get home.
Mm.
See, some questions are like trading specific. This guy's saying which markets are the most volatile to trade or have the highest returns when compared. I'm not a trader, so I can't answer these questions.
I can't answer these either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like if I don't like trading, like because trading doesn't lead you to your ideal lifestyle. It's like, do I really want to work?
It could if you
in front
spend
of a
8 years
desk?
learning it.
But like, I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, my view of business is essentially building a machine that turns, and then I eventually then me walking away from that machine, that machine continuing to turn nonstop. So if you want to be a trader, like you'll ideally need to bake
Be
a
there.
bunch of cash, or you have to be there, right? I'm trying to figure out how can you outsource you being there on the laptop, right?
Oh, this is a good one. Do you think having a girlfriend is a distraction
150%.
Yeah.
all the time?
150 times 2 million.
No matter who she is.
I mean, if it's somebody, for example, the guy who was asking about being motivated every day. So if he has a girlfriend who motivates him every single day in the morning, telling him, "Oh, listen, we want to buy a new TV. Let's do this."
No
this.
girl is gonna do that for you.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
Come
I'm
on,
just
baby,
telling you.
wake up, let's get some money today.
I don't know. Maybe this doesn't work on that side of the world, but over here it does. Like I know so many people because they got married, they become successful after
Really?
getting married, not before.
Is
So many.
that
people.
because their woman is motivating them?
Yeah, definitely.
Or it's
100%.
because I want to make money so I can take care of her.
It's a bit of both.
Bit of
Because you get sense of responsibility, and that
Yeah.
helps you get discipline, and discipline is very important. And because of that, it leads them. And then on top of that, if you have a wife who pushes you just like even if it's 1 inch, it makes a huge difference. For example, the guy who was asking about motivation, if he has a girlfriend who motivates him, wow, you're in heaven already, bro. You're already in heaven. I think that. I don't know. I'm single, bro. At the end of the day, I'm single. Just saying, I'm single.
You're single because that's what works for you, right?
Because I didn't find the one.
Yeah.
The second I find her, I'm gonna marry her face, bro.
Right away.
Right away.
I think the guy that's asking this question is like, oh, is it a waste of time for me to be swiping on girls on Tinder? Like, should I be doing this or should I be working?
Listen, and
The sense of purpose needs to come from within. Like, you need to know exactly what you need to be doing and why you need to be doing it. And not because somebody's at your house yelling at you, telling you that that's what you're supposed to be doing. It has to come from inside, that this is something that you genuinely want to do. And that this is something that you were meant to be doing. Like, I didn't really answer the question about common traits in rich people. But one of them is that, one, they believe they're better than you 99% of the time. Like if you speak to them for long enough and you get to the root of why they're doing everything that they're doing in life, they believe that they deserve everything. And they believe they have a massive sense of self-worth is the one thing I noticed. But the second thing, what were you just talking about?
Arrogance, right? Like,
Arrogance? No.
the traits of
Before that. I was going to relate it to that. Fuck.
for girlfriend stuff.
motivation has to come from within.
Comes from within.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest
You're
traits I
very
notice in rich
focused, huh?
people.
You're very focused.
I got lost. Yeah, that's the second thing is the motivation comes from within. They wake up for them, knowing that they need to do this for them. It's almost selfish
but
to a certain extent.
Everything you do is selfish. If you tell me that you're going and giving money to somebody who's poor and you're telling me this is a selfless act, it's not. The truth is, it is selfish because you feel good. That's why you do it. You're not doing it because you're going to make sure that he has a house and that's going to remove all your wealth. Once you do that and it removes all your wealth, then I'll say it's selfless. But nobody will ever do that. No one in the entire world would do that.
We're human beings, right? We look after each other. Look after ourselves.
You have to look
before
after
anything.
yourself to look after other people.
Survival.
Survival.
You have to live, right?
Yeah, you have to live.
You know?
If you have 10 million and you take all the money and you go and you give it out to poor people,
You're crazy.
you're not crazy. No, you're not crazy. But that means that you don't want to live on this plane that you're living on right now. You're looking at another life, which is the afterlife. A lot of people don't believe in it, but that's what they're looking at.
So even for them, it's selfish.
It's selfish.
Even if they're giving everything
Yes,
away.
it's always selfish.
Because why are you
I
giving your
see.
money away?
You're selfish.
You're giving it
always
because
selfish.
you're
You wanna be
chasing
like,
a better
oh,
future for
Yes,
yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Good point.
It's always selfish.
It's
bro.
always selfish.
It's
Everything
always
you do.
selfish.
But so why does the word selfish have a negative connotation?
It's not actually negative. It's just that
It's very negative. Oh, you're so selfish,
no,
bro.
it's a collective conscious that made it negative.
Mm.
The word ego and
Also
and-
has a
and-
negative connotation
and
to it.
the word pride is they're so similar. They're so similar.
They're considered vices by
Yeah.
a lot of people.
But they're so similar.
Yeah.
It's just one line. Even when they talk about people being brave, there's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. And I learned that in a game. There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. There's a fine line between everything. But you just need to know where the line is. If you can't see the line, I
Then
can't.
you're stupid.
I can't help you.
You have to learn. You have to learn where the line is.
I can't help you, bro.
How about I ask you guys a question? How much time do we have? 15 minutes? Okay.
14 minutes, bro.
14 minutes?
Yeah. Just to be generous and kind to him, you know? Because I'm selfless, you see?
Okay, here's a good question. What was the first job or business that you started or job that you got where it made you realize, you know what, I can actually make something very, very big of myself? When did the switch flip in your brain where you were like, no, I'm going to be very, very rich when I grow up? Was there a specific moment for you? Or was it just a gradual kind of, oh, no, you know what, maybe I can do this?
I think
I had a moment for me when I was like 16.
Okay, well, when was that?
When I started selling concert tickets. I was the first kid in my school to make 10K a month. Nobody was making money like this. I was 16 years old in high school, buying concert tickets on Ticketmaster and selling them on StubHub for crazy 2x, 3x, sometimes 5x margins. I figured out a way to do this because I joined a Discord group where they were teaching you like how to do it and giving you the plays and telling you what tickets to buy. I was buying them on my dad's credit card. He had no idea. I told him a month later, like, yo, I know you have 5,000 extra debt on your credit card. Here, I paid him back. He's like, bro, what are you doing? Eventually, he figured it out, and he was like, okay, it's good to know you were making money from
I
it.
have
and
a smart kid.
and not burning it. Yeah, it's good to know my kid's not an idiot, you know? But that was the moment where I was like, first of all, it was my first time making a lot of money because when you're 16 years old, 10K a month is insane money. Nobody's making that kind of money. At least at my school, nobody was making that kind of money. So I was like going out, buying my friends all clothes, going shopping for my friends, blowing it on my, like the natural instinct when you're young and you first get some money is to spend it on everybody around you.
We all did that.
That's the first instinct.
The
Yeah.
first million you make, you spend it like crazy.
You spend it on everybody around you.
Not even a million. Like even if it's like 50,000,
Yeah.
10,000, you just spend. The first time you get it, you just spend.
Because you're not used to it. You're like, oh my God, this power.
So much power.
You have to exercise
So
it
much
to
power.
feel it.
Yeah, so much power.
That was my moment when I was selling concert tickets at 16. And then I just evolved, sell businesses after business. I started doing Supreme clothes after that. I started doing NFTs a few years later. I've been starting businesses since I was 16, bro. But the first one was the concert tickets. That's when I was like, yo, like this is really, really easy. And it was all digital too. The whole business was fully online. I was doing it in the back of math class, like trying to like create 20 different tabs like in my browser to make sure like I was getting the tickets, bro. I was the only kid doing this. It was great.
Yeah.
It's a great
Bro, I
moment.
can imagine. Yeah.
What about you, JP?
Okay, well, it was like when I started like realizing, okay, I want to do this or I want to just I think that cause of my family specifically, these like traditional values of okay, you have to build yourself have already been innately within myself, right? But when I was around 15, 16, I started watching a lot of YouTube self-help videos like, okay, you need to build yourself, or like as a man you have to do this, and then gym and all this stuff. And then when it started clicking is when I actually got myself a lot of jobs. So when I was 17, I had 4 jobs. I had 2 landscaping jobs. I had 1 security job, so that's over the night, and another job was lifeguarding. So during the day I would do lifeguarding, during the night I would do security. And like when I had days off, I would do landscaping.
Bro, when did you sleep?
I didn't sleep,
I was
bro.
about to answer the exact
I didn't
same
sleep.
question.
I like slept like 4 hours or something. The jobs were like close to each
What?
other.
Wait, so you used to sleep 4 hours a day?
Bro, it was like trash. Yeah,
Okay,
it
continue.
was like trash. Like, but basically, I would do like on calls, right? So if I was like super trashed, I would miss a day or something like that. But no, like I was like working like nonstop. And how I got that was from my landscaping employer. And he had that crazy mindset of, oh, let's go. He was an Indian, so it was like a bunch of Indians together, and then I was that one white guy. I like built their mindset, basically. I took his mindset because, and we would blast rap together. Yeah, it was fun.
So you made it fun. You made it fun.
Yeah. So like, and then I just like took his mindset and then like went to the moon with it because,
So that's
yeah,
when
it's
you
fun.
realized?
Yeah, because that's when I started learning like real business, because I figured because he was like a few years older than me, and I was about 17, 18 doing this stuff, and he was in his 20s, 21, 22, and he bought his own truck. He spent a lot of money to like build this landscaping business, and he would do outreach to like get clients and all this stuff, and I would help him build his business. And that's how I kind of got that motivation. I'm like, all right, man, this is how business actually runs. This is how it actually like goes in the real world. So yeah. And then after that, I was like, all right, cool. Let me just get a bunch more jobs and like put that all together. Like my other landscaping job was with a bunch of Mexicans, and so I got their mindset as well, right? Hardworking, like
Multicultural workplace, man.
Yeah, bro. Like I was in the multicultural areas of Toronto, so
This is one human being you can put into any circle, and he'll succeed. Over
He'll
there.
start speaking Spanish.
Yeah. ¿Qué pasó?
¿Qué pasó, hombre?
I was in all their random Mexican like barbecues and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
got, he
something I
got
wanna
invited to the
try.
cookouts, bro. He was in.
This guy, man, he had it all.
Yeah.
What's your moment? Do you have one?
No, honestly, no.
You don't have one moment where you're like, I have a lot of value to offer to the world.
I mean,
Where you realized, or were you just born with that sense of self-worth?
honestly, I looked at my father. That's it.
Okay.
This is just looking at my father and looking at him, because he was born to nothing, and then when he grew up, he had to make himself become a millionaire, and then back to zero because of the crisis, whatever. And then he went back to being a millionaire, and then back to zero, and then he did it like 3 times or 4 times. And seeing that, I was just like, if he can do it, I'm his blood, man. I have to do it. I don't have a choice, man. It's like I'm the descendant of the infamous, you know. Like I need to do this. I don't have a choice. And because of that, it was never a moment. It was always there. It was always there.
Yeah.
Because I was the only, like, you know, there was a few people in my school who were rich, and they were rich because it's family money, you know. But for my father, he made it himself. So I used to look at it. I was like, even to this day, I tell him, I don't want your money. I want to make my own money because of what you taught me, which is more important than the money. Because he's not going to live forever. I'm not going to live forever. Nobody's going to live forever. If he's not there, what am I going to do? Sit down and do nothing? No, I need to do something. I need to do something. And that's where it started. But I was like, in school when I started thinking that way? But I was just having fun at that time. You know, I was like, oh, I'm still young. I
wasn't serious yet.
No, but I knew I was going to do it.
When did it become serious?
After university, after studying neurolinguistics programming, after all
Later
this.
on.
Yeah.
I'd say when I was like 25, 26. That's when it became serious.
Yeah, I think that reminds me when I was very young, and my mom would always talk about like war stories, where like my grandpa, he was in Lebanon and he built like some huge business, and then like everything got destroyed because of the war. He had like a huge warehouse, all this stuff. And I actually spoke to him when I was very, very young. And that's kind of like the person that I was like looking up to. So I think that's where things like got started. And then the self-improvement videos and stuff, that's where it reinforced. And then the real world, just like going, not the real world, but going out in the real world and like doing this Mexican stuff, landscaping, all this stuff.
Mexican
That's sort of
stuff.
Yeah.
I think we, like, on our side of the world, we were privileged not to have to do all of this work. But I think that made us lazy as well. I think that's the issue on our side of the world. I think that's the issue most of us face.
Lower work ethic.
Yeah.
Like my work ethic's insane. Like to like actually fly across the world and like do this stuff. Like you can't just
Bro,
just
you
be a
came to
normal
Dubai
Canadian.
by yourself, didn't you?
I was by myself.
Bro,
like,
talk about that. That's crazy. You flew 12 hours. Okay, he flew 12 hours across the ocean from Toronto to Dubai by himself, rented an apartment, and lived in it for what, 3 months on your own,
3
just
months.
grinding every day?
Yeah.
Who does that?
I was kind of alone. Yeah, but like the first time I actually came to Dubai was when I was with like the Tates and Luke and all this stuff.
Okay.
But and at that point, I arrived in Dubai. All my Canadian bank accounts, all the cards got locked. Everything, my debit cards, credit cards, everything.
Why?
And I called them. Not because I was, man, I didn't think. I didn't. Firstly, Canada's communist in the first place, so they just blocked it because I was in a free country. Secondly, apparently I had to.
Sorry, Trudeau. Sorry, bro.
Apparently I had to call the banks and tell them, oh, I'm getting rich now, so now I'm like going to Dubai and stuff. Like, come on, man. Why do I need to tell you that I'm moving to this place? But Apparently, this is a normal thing. But yeah, for the second time that I arrived here, like when I actually arrived here as a resident, business, everything, because I planned the whole thing. I arrived at my apartment in Haptor City, and it was that moment. So I had like my 2 suitcases. I was all alone, like the dark room, and I would see the Burj Khalifa, and it was like, bro, that feeling was crazy.
Was that during the day or at night?
At night. At night. I
So you
arrived
saw
that
the
night.
lights and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I arrived that night. I was just by myself in this huge apartment. I never like had like high apartments and stuff, so it's super cool.
Was it scary?
It was scary. Yeah. It definitely was scary. I can't just say, oh no, I'm just like some alpha male guy. Like, no, still, it's just experiences, right? But now it's like, all right, I can go into any apartment and just feel
Now you're used
feel
to
like
it.
the top G, right?
If somebody just dropped you on a random city on the map and just gave you an apartment, said, boom, go work.
Yeah.
You'd be like, all right, I've done this before.
Yeah, exactly. Done.
That should be good. Yeah.
Easy.